Hi everybody. Hi y'all. It's Kimberly here. Um, every once in a while I do like a self-defense demo or give some kind of tips or pointers. And I had a comment the other day on one of my videos about it was the one I think where I was at home by myself when I was a little kid. It was a story time and a guy was creeping around the house. And uh, the commenter said, things like that have happened before. They've been scared before. So this is why I like to give tips or, some kind of just a little bit of help, in case somebody is in a situation like that. Um, this video is going to be about choking. I see a lot of movies and a lot of scenes in movies where people are just choked out completely. And just it kind of frustrates me, like, and they're not doing anything. They're like just making hand gestures and they're not really doing anything. First off, if that happens, you need to defend yourself and you need to think about, not, oh, they're choking me and this is it. You can't think like that. You have to think, I'm going to hurt this person. I'm going to get out of this. This is not okay. And you have to have enough clarity in your mind. You've got to calm down a little bit. You've got to realize you got to stop them from the way that they're doing it. Usually I don't have anybody to hold the camera so I'm going to have to demonstrate myself. Whenever you're choking someone, you usually have your hands like that, one on one side and the other one on this side. And one of the easiest ways to get out of it is to grab their thumbs with both hands. Do it with both hands. Just grab a hold of their thumbs and peel back if you can. Get your fingers in there, peel back, and continue to peel their thumb back. Hold it back until you can bring them going forward and down to the ground with your arms. Or you can grab any finger. Any finger, if you can't get a hold of their thumbs, grab any finger, pick the pinky or it doesn't matter which one, any finger, and continue to bend it back and push it against their body weight and down to the ground. And then you can do like a little snap kick or something and take off and run. And also you can try to, I think one of the things that a lot of people don't think about is try to minimize, what they have a hold of. Make your neck, kind of either crooked around one way or the other way or back into it, back down, go down to the ground. If you're afraid of being that person getting on top of you, like if you're a smaller woman, then don't go to the ground, but try to rotate or minimize the amount that they have, that they can get their hands around, and make them struggle to do what they're trying to do, because right there, the hyoid bone is usually what gets broken whenever you're strangled, and it's very delicate. Your windpipe and everything right there, and they can cut off your wind. So that's the thing you're trying to do, is trying to twist it around or get it, even if you have to twist sideways, which is one of the best defenses, like that, because then that changes, they have to rotate themselves and they have to start, moving around also. They lose their grip. And if you are in a front chokehold like that, if you can rotate around somewhat and do it quickly, bring you're going to stretch your arm out, bring it up and pop them in the chin with your fist like that. And I wish I could get my camera set up, but I don't have a tall enough tripod, or I don't have anything. I didn't feel like moving anything, a bunch of furniture and stuff in here. And it's got natural light in here. I love the light that comes through this window. But yeah, you can pop them, with your fist. And I've already made a video about making a proper fist. You put your thumb or the first two fingers And this way, if, say you're in the front position, quickly turn and just pop up like that with your hand and hit as hard as you can. What you're doing is you're going to be doing like an uppercut. And just throw that punch out, take off running. Always, I would say, anytime you're trying to get away from somebody, make the move, do it as fast as you can, as hard as you can, and then just take off running. Go to safety. Get in your car, run, bang on people's doors. If you're in the street, a lot of people won't come outside if they hear somebody yelling certain words. I don't want to. The best thing would be notify the person in the house that your car is being stolen or somebody's towing your car, and pound on the door. If they open the door, just say, call 911, call 911. Because a lot of people are scared. They're scared to come out. And, I kind of don't blame them. I've had a situation where two people were fighting in the front yard right next to me. And the lady was screaming bloody murder at the top of her lungs. Help, help, help me. And I looked out and I could hear all kinds of like scrambling around, and she was just screaming at the top of her lungs. And I looked out the window and I couldn't see them. They were kind of out of the range of the view of my window. And I kind of opened the door and she was still screaming. And so I was afraid. I didn't know if he had a gun or what was going on, what was happening, if he had a weapon, and called the police. And then when they got there, the girl said she wasn't yelling. Nothing was happening. They weren't fighting. They were just playing around. They weren't fighting, but they were having a horrible argument. And they did that frequently. But that was the first time I'd called the police. And then I told them the next day. They both came outside and I heard them, and I purposely came outside and said, next time if that happens, I'm going to call the cops again. And if you lie about it, I'm going to record it. And because I never would have thought that somebody wouldn't want you to call the cops. But, that does happen. It happens a lot. And that was the first time that occurred to me. And so sometimes if you're yelling, help me, somebody might call the police for you, but a lot of people won't help you. And that did happen to me in an incident where I made a video about it, about my assault years ago. And when I was running down the back street after the incident occurred, the fight, and the guy came back, I was chasing him. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, help me, all this stuff. And people's lights were on, but nobody came out, not one person, nobody. So a lot of times people are scared. They don't know what's happening. They're not going to just run out and help you. So a lot of times kicking somebody's cars that has a car alarm, making all the car alarms go off. A lot of people aren't going to let you in their house. They're not going to open the door for you, and they're not going to help you. So at the resort of breaking a window or doing something, make them call the cops at least. And even if the cops get there, if you've damaged property, replacing a broken window is better than what could happen to you, if somebody's really out to get you, if they're trying to hurt you. So kind of remember that tip. I'm not saying go around the neighborhood just tearing everything up. Not at all. But think about, the thing that, some people are going to be scared. They're not going to want to come out. I wouldn't want to come out, I would be afraid because, I'm not like a lot of women that are at home by themselves. What are they going to do? Come out and save you? A lot of women aren't going to do that, especially if they got kids with them in the house. So if you don't have a phone with you, if you can't call 911, your option is to get somebody else to do it for you. And the quickest way is you may have to scare them. Even if you have no bad intention, you're not trying to do that. Just telling them, yelling, call 911, 911, is probably better than yelling, help me. It's just a fact, and it's just something that, when it happened to me, I was sort of mad afterward because I told the cop, I was like, we went back over to the place where it happened, and I went out the back. I said, see all these lights on? They weren't on. There was a few of them on when it was happening to me, but now they're all on, you know, and not one single person came to help me. And, you know, that's just the reality of, you know, when people get scared, you know. So probably trying to put yourself in the mindset that I'm going to have to make somebody help me, you know, and pounding on the doors or doing something that will, I'm not saying go around and tear up all their property, but make them, you know, if you can't call the police yourself, make somebody else do it for you, you know. Well, those are just a few of the ways to get out of a chokehold. Remember, try to close your neck up, give them less availability to, you know, the vulnerable spots in your neck by turning your chin in, dropping or moving, and putting, you know, other obstacles in your way, like your fist to their face or your fingers in a, you know, doing what you need to do, you know, turning it around to where they're trying to get out of a situation with you. And that's probably one of the things that a lot of people don't think about is they're so scared that they're trying to get away. But, you know, you need to, a lot of people aren't trained that way. A lot of women aren't trained that way. They're not given the option, you know, growing up. You know, you need to think about it yourself. You have to think about, I have to get out of this. You know, this is me turning the tables on the person who's trying to do something to me. There's also one other move you can do. If you're in front, same thing, front chokehold, and both of their arms are stretched out on both sides. You're going to take your arm up in between their arms and lock it over one if they're not too tall, or if you're in the position where you can do that. Lock their arm, and you can either maneuver it forwards or just continue to twist it back until you've got one arm off. And that way you can break the hold, and like I say, once you're free, take off running. Okay, I hope everybody's staying safe, and I actually made a video yesterday at lunchtime, but I got a new phone, and when they were porting all my stuff over to the new phone, it didn't get a lot of my photos and videos, so that video is still stuck on the other phone. I'm going to try to figure out how to get it over there. It was a mukbang. If I can get it over, then maybe I'll post it later. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for coming to my channel. Thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe.